Okay, going to Star Swamp, which is North Beach. It's a reserve with some wildlife there. When I say wildlife, birds, some marsupials, and other things. It's quite a nice place where it's nice to have a walk around. It's very pleasant. You could spend a good hour or two having a look around there, having a good walk. Also nice to photograph. I think it was also some kind of barracks at Star Swamp. The military were there many years ago. They had horses and cattle there, and I think it was also, well, they had a bit of a dumping ground there as well. But back in the day, I assume it was a lot more swampy than what it is today. I can't say I've seen any water in there. There's no little ponds or pools of water. Very grassy, very green. Some old trees. I think one or two have died as well. Very warm at the moment. 34 degrees. I think it was supposed to peak at around 35 degrees today at 5 o'clock. It's currently 11 minutes past 6. It's a Tuesday, the 18th of February 2020. So we are riding into and towards Gwellup, G-W-E-L-U-P. We also used to come here and practice our O-turns, U's, O-circles, I can't remember what they call them anymore, for our riding test. Over that way on the left hand side by the park there's a quieter road, and yeah, we'd practice our going round in circles in a controlled manner, slow bike manoeuvres. The sun is quite bright at the moment and really in line of where I'm riding towards, but the sun sets in roughly 1 hour's time. Star Swamp is not overly too far away from where I live. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Just to the right there is a golf course. It's the Coming Up golf course. I think it's either the, yeah, it's got to be the Coming Up one. I don't think it's the Wembley golf course. Yeah, it's definitely the Coming Up one. Maybe quite a nice sunset tonight. Hopefully if those clouds hang around. But then again they might burn back a little bit and then we'll just have a relatively straightforward and flat sunset without any nice clouds, which makes it less interesting as a photographer's perspective. So we're not too far. Actually the reserve itself, the Star Swamp Reserve, is just on the right hand side, but to get into it is further along this road and then we turn right and there's a car park. Now how's that for an old tree? So, as mentioned before, it's quite photogenic as such as this reserve. And quite a good time of day to come. And some good colour what comes through as the light softens for the golden hour. No doubt my panting is coming over the audio system. It's quite warm, like I say, 34 degrees, so you get a bit hot when you have motorcycling garments on, and then also having a helmet on, your head gets very warm in these conditions. And I think it's also supposed to be quite humid today as well, especially going into the evening. So that's why I'm panting a bit. I'm quite hot. I do generally walk at quite a pace. I intend to come back here as well to photograph, but it's funny because I was thinking about getting a motorcycle partly for my photography, so I could go a little bit further off, not off the beaten track as such, but places where it may not be so easily accessible for a motor car. But then, having got a motorcycle, it's a bit tricky with the extra gear I'd have to take, as in carrying it physically on my back, and also the tripod. Now, the tripod I have, it's a reasonable sized one, quite heavy, and I've just realised just prior to coming out on the bike, had it strapped down to the bike itself, and then you only learn these things by experience. I couldn't actually swing my leg over to get onto the bike because of the length of the tripod. My legs are physically long enough and my gait isn't large enough to get up and over and round the tripod. I didn't want to gamble it by being able to swing my leg over and get onto the bike, and then not being able to get off the bike by not having enough swing in reverse, and then I would have been stuck, I would have thought. So I didn't want to gamble that. Maybe I'll find a solution another way. I'll probably strap the tripod to my rucksack, the camera bag, and that might work. So I'll try that for another day. So something a bit new for the channel as well. Been listening to feedback from the previous videos, and people were saying show more footage of where you are, and maybe doing a bit more talk of where you're at. So that's what I'm trying to do in this episode. And also this is for a little bit of another recce for me to come and consider doing some photography here as well. I did have it in mind earlier, as mentioned, but after the tripod fiasco, that's for another day. So these grounds they're a fair size. Sorry I don't have the actual hectare sort of measurements for it, but like I say, you could have a good walk around here, and you might repeat some of your walks, but you could have a good hour or two walk around and really enjoy a leisurely walk on these trails. Easy walking. Look at that tree, how it's all stripped back from its bark. That could have been a lightning strike actually. Looks like it's either just come away over edge, but it has been scorched and burnt. So that could well have been a lightning strike. Limbs off, blackened. Nothing stays the same. So we're getting close to the end of this walk around here. It's probably been more of a walkabout than a ride out really. So yeah, coming towards the end of my, what do they call it here in Oz? Walkabout. I'm going to walk about in Star Swamp. And for those people who don't live in Australia, and I've heard all sorts of nightmare stories about how everything on every corner of every walkway reserve, there's an animal trying to either hurt you, maim you or kill you. Not true. Yes, we have snakes, spiders, obviously in the oceans the great white, and other nasties, crocs. But most of the time, if you're careful, like now, stay to the tracks and trails, you'll be fine. Especially snakes, they'll be out of the way before you even know you were near one really. They'll definitely be out of the way, unless it's sleeping and you've suddenly come across it. Obviously a defensive mechanism for a snake would be then to potentially strike. The only snake, or snakes, I've ever seen in Australia were recently in a visit to Tasmania. I suppose anywhere like this is a bushfire risk. I mentioned earlier it was 34 degrees, so all this will be really dry. Let's just walk on these leaves. I'm not going to go too far in. Now you can hear how dry those leaves were. So that's why people have to be responsible, not leaving glass bottles around, obviously not creating fires. But you get the odd strange person who gets a kick out of starting fires, and then there's disaster. So we're nearly at the end of our little walk around. I hope you've enjoyed this sort of a change from the norm from the previous videos for this channel of ours, The Naked Bikers. Please leave some feedback if you liked it, disliked it, what did you like, what didn't you like. So making our way to the Yamaha MT07. I don't have a name for my bike. Maybe I should. I don't know. So that was Star Swan Preserve, and then back into suburbia. And to give you an idea how close all that is to the ocean, it's about a minute away. And there's the sunset. This road may actually seem a little bit familiar now. This is West Coast Highway, and we do ride up and down here quite often because it's a nice ride, very leisurely, and well, you're riding next to the ocean. I promise you we do have more roads than this one to go up and down, but it's a favoured ride of ours, a favourite road. We will be going more further afield as well in the future, so if they're looking a little bit familiar at the moment, they will do, but then in time we're going to go to different places. I actually might go to a place to New Norcia, so I think it's around about a 2-hour ride away, and I'm thinking of going there with my photography gear if I can sort out that tripod carrying issue I have at the moment. And you may wonder why Catherine won't be coming. She's still in the UK. It's going to seem like she's in the UK for a long time, but she's only gone for 2 weeks. That's how easily people can pull out in front of you, because they're looking for motor cars, a car of drivers, so the brain looks out for cars, and when it doesn't see a car it tells brain to engage gear and start going. You've got to be careful. I did mention in my last video about the quality of drivers in Perth, and rightly so. I'll leave it there. Slightly different way back home tonight. So yeah, if you've enjoyed this particular episode, a little bit different, then please comment. Let me know if you did actually like it. If you didn't, please let me know why not. If you do like these videos you've seen so far, maybe consider subscribing and ringing that notification bell like a good one, so then you're notified of our latest uploads. Thank you.